Hi family, welcome back to Aura Life. Today we're gonna have some fun and take a look back at our 2020, the highs, the lows. I'm gonna talk all things Peloton, self-care, and rave. So let's jump right in.
Rising up like phoenixes, been tired of pushed down the ground. Speaking my heart like it really is, 'cause I can't take another no. I see, I like, I go, I get, no one can holding me back. I see, I like, I go, I get, go, I get, go, I get, go, I get now.
Hi guys, I hope you enjoyed that little recap of the year. It's definitely been an interesting one. 2020 threw us all for a loop. But before I jump into my recap, hi, I'm Ashley. I'm a rave mom and mom in real life, and I create content all around my self-care, my bucket list adventures, and raves and festivals. And today, I wanted to do a little fun recap for 2020 and do some Mad Libs. If you don't know what Mad Libs is, basically it's a game where you kind of fill in the blank. All of my 90s kids, you know what I'm talking about, where you have a statement and you fill in the blank of either an adjective, a noun, a verb, whatever it is that will complete the sentence for you. And I thought, why don't we do a recap of the year version of this Mad Libs game? So I have a notes here, and I'm going to fill in the blanks to describe what 2020 was like, and also to chat a little bit about my expectations for 2021. If you haven't been following along, this is a continuation to a series that I've been doing with 6 other awesome EDM/rave YouTubers here on the tube. We've been doing this series called Ravemas. This is week 5, I believe, in the series. So this is the final video. I had so much fun. Thank you, everyone. And a special shout out to Shirley Delgado for creating this series. I had a blast. It's pushed me creatively, and I've just enjoyed following along with all the other YouTubers and all my girls to see how they're doing, since we're all doing this socially distant. So I hope you've enjoyed following along with us as well. Let's jump right in. The first fill in the blank is my biggest accomplishment of 2020 is, so the biggest accomplishment of 2020 for me was really just keeping my sanity. I know that's not really an accomplishment, but I did notice this year that everything that I've put into motion, a fitness journey, you know, checking in, making sure that I am keeping on top of my exercises. And I noticed a huge difference in just my psyche and how I feel being able to work out from home, and also just staying consistent. Because to be honest with you guys, especially during the busy season for me and my work, around, I would say maybe October through December, I'm not as active. I would go sometimes weeks or 2 without even working out. This year I have been able to still squeeze in my workouts. While they may not be, you know, the optimal amount, I typically like to work out 5 days a week at least and have 2 rest days. I have been consistent with my workouts. I've been getting at least 3 to 4 workouts a week, and for me, like I said, during this busy time is really a big deal. So I feel really good about that. The other accomplishment is just seeing my work with my meditation practice in motion, being more consistent with that. And I've noticed just by being consistent with my meditation practice that I am reaping the benefits. Definitely, especially in such a stressful year and stressful times, I was able to really go back to my breath, and that has helped me manage my anxiety, manage my mental stress across the year, and I have seen the benefits of that. So I'm really proud that I've been consistent with that. I do want to do better in 2021, and I'll go into that later in maybe some future videos, but it's been great to see the benefits of my meditation practice. The next fill in the blank is, if I would have known what I know now, what would I have done in 2019? So if I know what I know now about how 2020 would have gone, I wouldn't have skipped out on EDC Orlando. I've been saying this to everyone, but it is my biggest regret not going to EDC Orlando last year in November. I had friends, people in my rave fam who went, and it seemed like it was a blast. The lineup was straight fire. Like, there were so many people that are my favorites that were at EDC Orlando, and I just thought, oh, you know what, I'll catch them next year. It'll be fine. There's gonna be another one, and there still will be another one. But now, going through 2020 without a major festival, and that would have been my last hurrah in terms of festivals, I regret not going. So I think the biggest lesson, which I always preach here, and it still rings true, live in the moment, seize the day, because you never know when you're gonna have another opportunity, and it's so important, and I think this entire year has really taught me that. My favorite self-care item of 2020 is, so I'm gonna cheat here, and I actually have two favorite self-care items of 2020. The first I have to mention is my upgrade to the Peloton bike. It's been a long time coming. I love it so much. I just am so thrilled that I invested in myself. Even though I already had a bike, it's really made an improvement. Make sure that you catch later in a new up and coming video my thoughts on the differences between doing the hack and the actual bike, because I actually have seen benefits of having the actual bike. Not to knock anyone else out, but I do want to talk to you guys about that in a future review. But you know, it just feels good to invest in myself. It's probably one of the biggest investments I've ever made in my health and fitness journey, and I'm very, very proud of it, and it was worth it for me. In terms of my other favorite self-care item, I recently got this diffuser off of Amazon, and first of all, it is just gorgeous. I'm gonna throw up some footage of it here. It is beautiful. It is kind of like has a ceramic-like texture on the outside. It's white and it comes in different colors. But not only that, it lights up so you can do different lighting moods. It's beautiful in the dark, and it just completely calms me. I put my favorite essential oil blend in there, and it is just a great addition to my meditation / yoga sunroom space. But I also sometimes have it in my kitchen. I just take it around with me everywhere. It is one of the best things that I invested in, and I think it was like 30 bucks. So the diffuser was so worth it. So I'll make sure to link it down below. And if you're interested in some of my other self-care items that I got this year, comment down below. Let me know if you're interested in that. I'm thinking about doing a video about my top favorite self-care items of the year. So if you're interested in that, shout out, let me know, and comment it below. My favorite EDM artist that helped me through 2020. So my favorite EDM artists that helped me through 2020 were, not too surprising, but these were like my favorites, but they also just really, really helped me through with all of the kind of virtual sets that they threw down, and just surprising moments that really made me enjoy life even in quarantine. So first, I would say Lane 8. He had such a great album, so chill, so calm. It was like the soundtrack for my 2020, and it really helped me through emotionally. So I have to say Lane 8. Road is one of my favorite songs on there, and I play it nonstop, especially when I'm in the car, and it just really calms me. Cascade Cascade definitely was a favorite of 2020 and helped me through. All his redux or redo sets really helped me, and it helped me connect to my rave family. Even though we couldn't be together, we used those moments to Zoom each other live and to watch them live, and it made me feel a sense of community even though I couldn't see them in person. So I had to shout out Daddy K on there. The next is Morgan Page. Same thing, he had the most bomb sets on Instagram Live, just overall progressive house vibes. I had such a good time, and it was something that I look forward to every week in a week, you know, throughout the months that were so mundane. That, you know, it just was an event that I really look forward to even though I couldn't go out and about. The next is Deadmau5. I don't know what it was about this artist, but really Deadmau5 helped me so much, just like when I was in the car listening to his music while I was working. It was really calming. It really was a sense of escape for me. A lot of his music doesn't have a lot of lyrics in it, and so when I listened to it, it just kind of took my mind off of whatever I was thinking about and cleared my mind, and I could really just focus on the sound, and that really helped me through. And the last but not least, it's still a favorite but really helped me through quarantine, Above and Beyond. They had the most fire yoga album that came out, I believe at the beginning of 2019 or at the end of 2019, early 2020, and I used this soundtrack to do my meditations, a lot of my yoga, especially when I zoomed into yoga. I would have Above and Beyond playing in the background, and it really just was a good zen moment for me. It had me in my feels, and I always felt so at peace after listening to them this year. So I had to shout out my favorite group, Above and Beyond. The next statement is the best virtual set of 2020. So guys, this was really hard. I really had to go back through and think about all of the virtual sets that I have seen. And I know they have kind of died down now. They're not as popular, but there were some really good ones this year, and I had a ball just exploring new artists that I've never heard or seen live. It was a good opportunity to kind of pop around, jump around, and see people that I may have missed if I was at my favorite artist set at a festival. So I really thought that this definitely was a year of exploration with music and artists for me. So the first one that I would love to mention is Gestures Beyond Wonderland virtual set. Oh my gosh. I mean, I had never seen Gesture before. I was kind of introduced to Gesture through Emma Capotes because I know that she likes listening to him, and he was also on her podcast, Rave Culture Cast, but this was the first time I saw him live, and he just brought the party. I had such a good time listening to him, and it just really put me in such a good mood. I was definitely at that moment during this set. It was kind of towards the early on in quarantine where we were just all kind of down and just trying to figure everything out, and there's a lot of confusion, and he just brought the party to me and made me feel so good. And after that, I started to follow his brunch sets on Twitch, where he would be just like playing tracks and cooking brunch and on Sunday, and it was just like the best thing ever. It just was so cool to watch him, and it put me in a really good mood. So shout out Jester, you killed it this year. The next virtual set that was my favorite was Duke Dumont's set on Escape Halloween. It's the virtual rave-a-thon from Insomniac. He threw it down. He was amazing. I love Duke Dumont. I've seen him live at Spring Awakening, but it's been a couple of years since I've seen him. It's been a while, and it was so great to see him back. I love his song Red Light, Green Light, and it was everything. All of his new music too has just been amazing. And I really, really enjoyed this set, so I had to shout out that one. The next one was Spencer Brown Back-to-Back Quan. I think that's how you say her name. It was a day trip set, again, with Insomniac. They were just so perfect together. This was a deep house set, and it was just chill vibes. It was towards the end of the summer. Sunset was going on here in the background, and it just put me in such a good mood. And it also reminded me how much I miss deep house. Just hearing deep house live is the best. It puts me in the greatest mood, so I had to shout out that set. Next set was Ben Benassi's set with the EDC Raveathon this past summer, fall. That is actually an honorable mention. But he just brought like the old school like house vibes for me. He played all of the classic like house tracks and just like disco, like a lot of like disco house was in his set, and I just had a ball listening to him. And it was just great to see someone who is such a legend in the EDM space play, and for the young people to get exposed to him. So I had to shout him out here. So the last set was Paul Oxenfeld, and it was on the Dream State Raveathon. So anyone knows that I am kind of new to the trance genre. I'm really been getting into it this year in quarantine, listening to more trance. And Paul is a legend. He is a legend, and everyone recommended me to listen to him live, and I loved it so much. And also I found out that I really love to flow with my whip to trance. Like I'm always a house stan, and I love house so much, and I love to flow to house, but there's something about flowing to trance that is just like magical to me. And watching the entire Dream State Raveathon was really great to practice, but then his set was probably the one that set it off for me. I was just in pure euphoric heaven listening to him, so I had to shout him out. What would have been my festival plans? So my 2020 festival plans would have been, so the first on my tour would have been EDC Las Vegas. It would have been my second year going. I was looking forward to it, guys. I even had my lookbook boards picked out for the year. I think I actually showed that in one of my videos, and I still plan on executing those looks at some point, but that was gonna be my first major festival of the season. Then I would have gone to Spring Awakening in Chicago. That is a staple for me. It's the Chicago EDM festival, and I would have had a ball. I know it would have been a unique year because it was gonna be at Union Park, so everyone was kind of trying to speculate how that was gonna go, but I still was going to send it. So that would have been the second festival. The last festival of the year for me would have been EDC Orlando. Like I said, I was planning on going. It didn't work out, but you know, this year, hopefully, fingers crossed, everything will go and work out as planned. But you know, for me, I don't typically go to as many festivals as maybe other content creators, just because I am a mom and I need that work balance life, and also just family rave balance life. So I would have just gone to 3. But in the future, there's plenty of other festivals that I want to go to. And in terms of 2021, EDC Las Vegas and EDC Orlando are still planned. I have the tickets for those. We'll see how they go. We're just gonna have to wait and see how the vaccine goes and how everything is gonna work itself out there. All right, back to Peloton. So my favorite Peloton events and moments of the year. So this was such a big year for Peloton. First and foremost, like, wow, the community grew times 10. Like, everybody ended up joining the community because we all needed an alternative to work out at home, and it really felt good to finally see so many people love and commit to the community that I love so much, that I was already a part of. But I will say, Thon, I had such a ball with the Peloton. That was an event that lasted for, I believe, 4 weeks. And if you want to see what happened during those moments, I have blogs and I also have a video about what the Peloton was. But essentially, it was a 4-week event. It kind of took place of the typical Peloton homecoming. They did do a homecoming event, but this way, they kind of added on to that and did a larger kind of virtual event. And I had so much fun. It really pushed me to be active, and also it pushed me outside of my comfort zone. I tried a variety of different exercises that I had never done before, including outdoor content. And it's something that when the weather gets nicer here and it's not snowing anymore, I want to continue doing as well. Loved the new introduction of the bike boot camps. I thought it was so cool that they listened to all of the Peloton community, and they really saw that there was a lack of content. There was a void that needed to be filled. So many people were already hacking the boot camp workouts with their bike, and so they created this new workout format, and I love it so far. It's one of my favorite types of workouts with Peloton because I feel like I'm getting a 2-for-1. I'm getting my HIIT training on the bike and getting that cardio in, but I'm also getting my strength training. So I'm excited to see where it goes. And I've also heard that they're bringing more instructors to this format. Tunde just joined, and I heard Adrian is joining too, and who knows who else. So you're gonna get a variety of our favorite instructors doing this workout format, and I'm here for it. And can I just say that this past week, we actually got an EDM bike boot camp? An EDM bike boot camp. Are you kidding me? I mean, just the amount of EDM rides and content, I am here for it. So I'm so excited for what the next year's gonna bring, the collabs that they're gonna bring. They're actually dropping a Calvin Harris ride tomorrow. I'm so excited to try it, and I just cannot wait to see what they're gonna do and how they're gonna infuse the EDM community more into this community. The Beyonce Artist Series, everyone was speculating what it was gonna be, and I think it was really great to see this collab. And even if you're not a Beyonce fan, I thought it was a great move for Peloton because it shows that they're going to do more collabs. It's going to open up the doors for more collabs with artists, and who knows what that could bring. Now we have the Beatles series, we have Calvin Harris coming up. With Beyonce, they're going to be donating to HBCUs, and they're also going to have the Peloton bikes in HBCUs, and I think that really just shows how committed Peloton is to just bettering the community overall and listening to its subscribers. So I'm excited to see what else is going to come up for Peloton in 2021. That leads me into my favorite Peloton rides of 2020. So this was really hard, a very hard list for me to put together because there were so many good rides that weren't even listed here that, you know, I just enjoyed the tracks and I just enjoyed the playlist overall, but these are the ones that are the most memorable for me, and coming soon I will share some of my top rides in specific categories. So I'm hoping to do a series where I share with you my favorite rides to give you guys recommendations, but that'll come later. Here are my top 2020 rides. The first one is the deadmau5 ride. It was an Artist Series ride, but it was also in collaboration with Spotify's Power Hour playlist, and the whole playlist was fire. Like, there were so many tracks on that playlist. I wish I would have saved them all, but the entire ride was just a vibe. Kindle brought the heat. I have goosebumps just thinking about it. It's one of those rides that I will take over and over again, and I just had a good time. And it was probably one of the first big EDM collabs that they have done with an artist, and so I'm here for it. I'm here for it still. The next ride is probably like unexpected because Personally, I don't like this artist, like in terms of their music. Like I don't listen to them all the time, and that would be the Lil Wayne ride with Alex Toussaint. And I mean, like I said, he's not my absolute favorite, but the energy was on 10. There had to have been like 26,000 people on this ride, and you could just feel the energy through the screen. Alex was on 10, I was on 10, everyone else was on 10. It's just really good vibes. So it's definitely a memorable ride for me in 2020. The next ride was really just like, it was really about the time, like the time that we were in. It was in May when Black Lives Matter, the George Floyd murder, all of that was going on. And they did, I believe it's called a Speak Up ride with Tunde, where she talked through the entirety of the ride. I was in tears. It was very, very emotional for me, but it was also cathartic. And it just, to me, showed the commitment that the Peloton community has to the Black community within Peloton, the support, the empathy, all of that. I just was really moved, so moved. And it's something that I will never forget about this year. Next ride that is on my top 5 for Peloton rides this year was the Groove Duo ride with Cody and Emma. Now, I love Groove rides in general. It's just like a party on the bike. You have so much fun, you dance, and it's just a vibe. But these two together are just too much, but I love it. I'm so here for it. And it's one of those, again, one of those rides that I will take over and over again. I just love them together so much. And the ride went by so quick. I believe it was 30 minutes, and I was like, I need more, I need more. So I'm actually excited to go back and take some of these rides now that I have the Peloton bike, since I took them while I had the app. So I'm excited to take that one again for sure. Some choreography in the ride, which I know probably scared a lot of people, but being a former dancer, I was so here for it. So I'm excited. I hope that they get to do more rides together. So my last memorable ride was Prince's Artist Series ride with Emma and Ally Love. I love Prince so much. I had high hopes and high expectations for this ride, and they came through. It was just great. They played all the hits, all the bangers. Prince is just a great artist. I wore purple, they wore purple. It was just a whole vibe. So those are my top 5 Peloton rides of 2020. The biggest lesson and the best lesson that I took from this year is just how much I love and should value family time. Not that I didn't spend time with my family, but it's just hard when you're go, 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 hustle and bustling, that you don't get the moments to just sit and be with each other and laugh at each other and have that quality time all the time. And it's been great just rediscovering everyone's interests, my son's interests, seeing how he's growing and developing, spending time with my significant other. I love, binge watching The Crown with him and just binge watching a whole bunch of shows and just being content and being together with each other. So the biggest lesson I just think, again, is just living in the moment, cherishing those that are around you, those that you love. And then also, another lesson that I learned is just how strong I am. There was a lot of things that happened to me this year, so many ups and downs, especially low moments for me, and I pushed through, and I am extremely proud of myself for getting myself through that with the love and support of my family. And I will cherish that, and it just shows me that, something that would have broken me down and taken me out in the past, I'm strong enough to persevere through that. So that is that. Last but not least, my final Mad Libs is what I look forward to the most in 2021 is just a sense of like normalcy. And I'm just excited to meet so many of you in my subscriber community, the connections that I've made on YouTube, and get out there and just go to festivals again, experience live music again, maybe even go to a Peloton meetup. I'm just excited to get out and socialize. That's what I'm the most excited about. And I'm also excited to re-examine with fresh eyes my goals for the year. I just think that it's really, really great that we have the opportunity to look at our lives, reflect, take all the lessons that we took from this year, and then re-examine the goals that we have moving forward. So I hope you enjoyed this video. This was so fun, and it's great to look back on 2020, the good moments specifically. What did you feel you achieved this year? I'm going to link down below all of the Mad Libs, fill in the blanks, and why don't you just choose one and fill it out in the comments down below for me. I love you guys so much. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you click that subscribe button for more content from me, including self-care, my bucket list adventures, Peloton, raves, all of that stuff. And as I always like to say, positive self, positive wealth. I'll see you guys in 2021. Yay! Bye.